Well, hi. Today is Monday, August 25th, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. High schools are back into session, middle schools, elementary schools, all around the state of Iowa, and especially here in Council Bluffs. And so welcome back, students. Everybody give yourself a little bit of extra time getting into work because the school buses are going to be out again. And, that just adds a little bit of time as you're making your way on the morning commute. So just keep that in mind. 5-10 minutes earlier is all that you need. Also, sports season is underway again, and we are going to be talking high school football later on this week. Travis Waldstein of Air Serv Heating and Air Conditioning and Waldstein Plumbing, he knows just about everything there is to know about the local sports scene. So we're going to talk with him later on this week about the high school games that are going to be coming up, including one of the biggest games of the week anywhere in the state of Iowa. When you got North Polk visiting Lewis Central, you've got the last two teams that won the state championship facing each other in week one. So expecting a big crowd out at Titan Stadium this Friday. And also games elsewhere around town. So we're looking forward to bringing you all of the highlights and what Travis expects out of this football season. That is a little bit later on. Today, we are going to talk with Dave Zimmerman. He is a Council Bluffs market president for Availa Bank, and we're going to learn a little bit more about the latest that's happening in the banking world. And I ran into Dave at the farmers market on Thursday. Always great to see him. And since Availa Bank is located pretty close to downtown of the 100 block, he said that he tries to get out and just walk up and down and see what he can find to be able to take home. We had a great time at the farmers market. Just about another month to go. So be sure to get out, support the local vendors. Vegetables this is as good as you're going to see them all year. And I know that some of the vegetable vendors had a line that just never stopped, just constantly getting fresh vegetables. So again, support your local farmers markets wherever they might be. The one in Council Bluffs held every Thursday. So we're going to get to that conversation with Dave Zimmerman of Availa Bank. That is just around the corner. If you're feeling stuck in uncertainty, conflict, or miscommunication, The Spiral of Accountability by Carol Horner. She is a local author right here in Council Bluffs. And this is your guide to breaking free from the fog that clouds decision-making and relationships. Learn how to recognize negative cycles, shift your mindset, and build a culture of clarity and collaboration at work, at home, and in life. Her website, spiralofaccountability.com, is going to have the link for you to purchase your book. You can also get a copy on Amazon. And so when you're ready to spiral up and start your journey for a healthier, more productive team. Coming up September 30th and October 1st, there is an event going to be held in Council Bluffs. It is the Heartland Developers Conference. It's at the Mid-America Center, put on by the AIM Institute. For over 15 years, the Heartland Developers Conference has been the go-to event for Silicon Prairie developers. You'll find keynote speakers, deep dive breakout sessions, an exhibitor hall, hands-on demonstrations, and invaluable networking opportunities. You can get registered online, hdc.aiminstitute.org, and let your career take off. And don't forget, for precision metal fabrication done right, it's Foxco Fabrication in Council Bluffs. Custom welding, large-scale manufacturing, bringing your ideas to life with expert craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. Industrial, commercial, or custom fabrication, getting the job done on time and built to last. Locally owned and proudly made right here in Council Bluffs. It is Foxco Fabrication. Their website, foxcofab.com. With us this morning, it is Mr. Dave Zimmerman, Council Bluffs Market President for Availa Bank. Good to see you again, sir. How's everything going over at Availa Bank right now?
Going well. Good to see you too, Todd. Yeah, we're staying busy. This is the time of year where we try to meet with, our customers regularly, but this time of year, a lot of them are wrapping up their taxes if they did extensions and, getting all those sorts of things in and try to have a conversation with folks, how the year go, what are your plans for next year? Are there things related to budgets that you're going to change, or do you have needs, that maybe we can help with, or maybe need a little direction on, those sorts of things. And So it's a busy time of year. I think every time of year is kind of busy for bankers, but as we try to get those financials kind of gathered for folks, people have got money on the mind. So
Well, and we're talking about moving into another fiscal year, and you'd think, oh, we're in the middle of August. Are we worrying about that? Yeah, we are. that's
yeah,
that's the time to actually put the focus into it, so you're not playing catch up later.
and it's funny because it's this time of year when people are trying to finish up those 24s and get them done. They start thinking, well, I'm not going to do this in 25. Well, this is 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe people start shoring up and getting their 25 financials a little more in order, and then start putting a budget together for 26. I sit on a couple boards in town here, and we're starting to talk about what budget needs to look like for 26. You know, so all those sorts of things, whether it's employee evaluations or budgets, and a lot of that, those conversations are beginning to kind of hit here. And especially as fourth quarter gets, we hit fourth quarter, I think you've got to be ready to go because it's the shortest quarter of the year. You've got Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it just shrinks that time available to meet with employees or work on those budgets. So we see people try to get some of that going a little bit in September and October before those times hit. So
Yeah, you're right about that. That typically with business, you take a day or two off for Thanksgiving, and then there's this huge surge, and then you have about 2 weeks, and then everybody's taking time off about the middle of December, and we don't see them again
right,
until after the
right.
first of the year. And so that's why you bring up a great point that it's not something that I ever really focused on before. That yeah, fourth quarter is a short quarter,
It
and
really is.
if you're not planning ahead, then you can kind of feel like you're getting caught behind the eight ball. And you talk too about sitting on a couple of boards. I know that in this community, especially, philanthropy is big, and how are we giving back to the area in which we live, and that all has to be included into that to make sure that we're doing the best that we can across all aspects of business and community.
Yeah, and what's great about Council Bluffs is there's a lot of opportunities for people to get involved if they want to. The one, there are a few boards you can get involved in that always need help. And the one, I think it was 98 or 99, I joined the YMCA board, and a lot of boards have term limits. They don't, clearly. But you know what? It's been wonderful to see how the Y has changed in our community over the years, because it used to be on 4th Street. A lot of time and planning and effort went into to get in over on Canesville, where it is with the Lakin campus, or the Lincoln YMCA on Canesville, and just a beautiful facility. They got the park there now and plenty of parking. So I love being involved with that group. It's health and wellness, fitness. They talk, all age groups are involved. They got childcare, so it's a great organization in town and in the metro in general. But that's my longest tenured one, and I know that they're always looking for people to help and assist in different areas.
Well,
So
you're talking about that. I know firsthand of people that go to some of the Y facilities in Omaha, and I hear a lot about just this one's nicer. It is just it is. You've done a great job, and you and the rest of the board and everybody that's been involved with it. It's kind of like a beacon in the community. It's a really really wonderful facility.
as I understand it, this facility is part of the template for future Ys. They may not build it exactly the same, but a lot of what they've done with this one, and unless plans have changed, things always, change. But I heard last year that this is kind of the template that they would like to use in other markets. So it's a very cool facility. They've got the weight room upstairs with a track that goes around it. Of course, you've got the pool area, sauna, then the basketball courts that are there, and the teen rooms and the child care are awesome. They've got esports, for kids, and so it's a very very cool facility. And the staff, I tell you what, you want to talk about a giving group of people. The staff there, they give so much of their time to especially outreach with the youth and the teens. Those are periods of time in your life where you need some of that extra input or people to look up to, and the staff is very engaged in that way. I've always been a huge fan. They had a big impact in my life growing up. It's one that I always want to remain committed to and assist in ways that I can. So
You got me thinking about when businesses come into Availa Bank and they want to open up obviously open up a business account and to start to utilize some of the services. This thing that you're talking about was sitting down with them and helping them put together this plan and this fiscal for the fiscal year that's coming up. Is that something that's widely used, a service that you provide like that, or is that something that maybe a new business might be a little surprised they can get that service there?
well, it's something that we're accustomed to doing, certainly. So yeah, we're always happy to sit down and talk with somebody, not just about the banking services, but other questions they might have that we can help out with. Absolutely, we'll try to help. But there's a lot of people that I think don't, the word's getting out with technology, but technology is so widely available now. There's things that you can implement in your business that just make your life so much easier. You can from your desk make deposits, into the bank, and you can do it with snapping a picture on your phone or run it through a scanner if you have a heavier volume. If you've got clients that, some sort of membership, type activity, you can debit the client. If you have accounts receivable, you can just set your customers up for ACH payment, and you can manage that from your office. So you don't even have to manage mail like you used to if you don't want to. And just that from uploading your bank information into your QuickBooks or whatever accounting program you're using, you can give your accountant access. So the technology available, I think people are maybe a little scared of it, but it's becoming more mainstream. And it's changed the way we do business as bankers too. It used to be a banker would sit in their office and wait for people to come in, and now we're meeting customers at their office, showing them how things work, and so we're maybe a little more mobile to meet our customer where they do their banking, which a lot of times is at their home office or they're at their business office, and we'll stop by there and meet with them, or maybe it's a lunch or what have you. But really touching base with people and seeing, what makes their business tick and how we can help is important. If we understand how they operate, and we can help them grow and prosper, then it's good for both of us.
Yeah, that technology end of it is, I think we pay attention to the big stuff and utilize that, like the online banking. A lot of people are using that, but there's still some of the smaller things can fall into categories. Well, I didn't even know that was an option. And I'm thinking about, there's one person that I know, I'm not going to mention her name, but up until maybe even just 10 years ago, she was still physically taking a check to the office where she had her insurance at to personally hand them the check, because she didn't even trust the mail
Sure.
going that far. And now with the level of technology that we have, we can get all of that off our plate so much faster and focus on the things that we need to spend time on. Because, oftentimes it used to be, well, got to take the deposits to the bank. So we're going through and making that, but it's hard to say we were actually physically making money for the company at that point. Now it's a much quicker process, and I'm sure you still have people coming through the drive-through with that way, don't you? Yeah.
We've got people that come to the drive-through or come in the lobby, and we welcome that.
Right.
You bank the way you want to bank, but we offer a multitude of ways. But yeah, we've done the calculations over the years on the time and efficiency saved if you can bank from your office, and from gas being saved to you're paying an employee to run to the bank. They might be gone for 30, 40 minutes. And, there's productivity factors there too that do play in. And it's something that in banking, I think, 20 years ago, we couldn't have predicted, where we are today for mainstream, because the tools that bankers had from bank to bank transactions or the bank to Federal Reserve transactions are now mainstream for anybody, any customer. So
how much further do you think it can go? I know I'm asking you to kind of predict out here, but you just said 20 years ago we couldn't have imagined this. Well, what are we not imagining now?
Well, if you heard of cryptocurrency,
well, yeah,
I tell you what, I think there's going to be continued innovation, recently the Federal Reserve has allowed you can make wire transfers now pretty late in the day. You can transact overnight in some cases, but cryptocurrency is intriguing. Of course, none of this is investment advice or anything like that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Uh, but with cryptocurrency, it's intriguing to see some of the what read some of the white papers that they talk about, where you could have 24-hour exchange of money via this or that cryptocurrency. And there's so many of them. It's still in its early stages. I think it's been around since maybe 2008 is all, but the innovation in the last couple of years has been pretty amazing. And there's been some executive orders signed this year and some legislation being put forth, which puts real power behind that movement. So I think if there's continued innovation, that's probably going to be a part of it in some way. The way that it is today may not be the way it ends up doing it, but it's something that I think bankers are starting to kind of keep their eye on a little bit too.
For me, I let somebody talk me into doing a little crypto investment for a while, and because of my personality, I couldn't leave it alone. And you know how volatile that
Oh
market can
yeah,
be as far as investing in cryptocurrency. So I'm constantly, it's like every 5 minutes, I'm picking up my darn phone and I'm looking to see where it's at right then. And eventually I figured out this is not any way to live life. So I sold everything, made $70,
there you
but
go.
I just had to get out because it's the same reason I don't play fantasy football anymore because I can't leave it alone.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind
No,
of thing.
it's one of those things. You're right. You've got to just kind of set it and forget it, or
Yeah.
if you're someone that's got to be watching it, and yeah, that can be hard on you. But I guess I'm less concerned about the daily, or you investing like a stock market or something like that, than the technology that is bringing that could really continue to impact and change, our lives today as far as how money moves. And the other one, of course, is AI is a big one. And there's if you look at the stock market today, if you're a technology stock, they talk about the Mag 7. If you're related to AI in some way, you've had a pretty good run. So I think that will continue. And I think, we've got some tools internally that is maybe intuitive. I wouldn't call it AI, but it's intuitive to help customers with their online banking, or, maybe some communications and things. And that'll continue to evolve, I think, over the years, where, maybe at some point, if we talk about the future, maybe you don't need to keep a checkbook or a ledger. Maybe it'll tell you, hey, you've got X number of dollars to spend, or your budget should be here or there, and it'll kind of guide you a little bit. I mean, who knows? But it's pretty wild what's happened with AI just in the last 5 years. So
I can't even imagine the way it's going to be utilized in your industry. I'm seeing it in mine, and I'm seeing it getting better. For a long time, these AI generated voices, I could spot them a mile away.
right,
But I think that they're getting a lot better at putting the human element into it because we don't speak with consistent inflection and things of that nature. And now I'm hearing an AI generated voice that, oh, if I didn't know, I may just pass it right over. And I think that with your industry too, there's so many different things that are continually to get better and better, and in ways that oftentimes I don't know that we can even predict.
right. I think fraud detection is an area that it would probably make a big difference too. Right now, we use algorithms to detect fraudulent items, and I'm sure AI can speed that up or make it more precise and write new rules for things to detect and catch fraud. But even more so in your day-to-day life, can it write your budget for you and help you keep accountable to your budget? Wouldn't that be something? You're going to the grocery store and it says, "Oh, you've only got $60 left from your budget. Are you sure you want, that
Right.
item?" And
I just used it a couple of days ago and asked it to give me the top 5 things that maybe I'm not paying attention to with my business that I should be.
oh yeah,
And wow, was it accurate?
yeah,
It's telling me things that, how did you know? But it knows because it can do all that stuff is available on the web now, and that's just
yeah.
listen. We
Do you
can
use Chat GPT or
that was the one that I
Grok or?
used. Yeah, I used chat for that one,
Yeah,
and I have, I've got the upgraded version, so I have the paid version because I use it a lot for rough ideas, for outlines, for writing some things, and then I still have to go through and clean everything up. It's just I'm not using it as an employee, which I think is a mistake, but I use it to just do uh, some of the heavy lifting for me,
sure.
so that I can go in and fine tune things the way that it needs to be in order to fit what it is that I do.
Yeah.
And that they just put out a new version of that, and that will keep getting better. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff that is coming, and we're not really sure. I don't think where it's going, but
No, it's exciting to see, and some levels maybe a little scary to think about, and because everybody's seen the doomsday films of how AI will take over, and we sure hope that's not the case. And it's nice for the part that it makes your life simple and easy, but hopefully there's enough parameters in place not to go over the edge
yeah,
there.
I asked. We did an AI episode with some friends of mine with ThinkSpace IT, and so they really know the tech end of it. And that was a question that I asked them was, are we do we have to worry that Cyberdyne Systems is going to come up? And they laughed. That's just a reference to the Terminator movies, but because that was the whole idea. It became self aware,
Yep.
and I don't know, or I don't think we have to worry about that. But we got to have something to worry about. So why not just make it that?
Right, right. There's nothing else to worry about right now, so we'll worry about that. Yeah, yeah.
All right, David. Listen, I'm grateful for your time. Every chance we get down, sit down and talk, and grateful for your expertise too, and with you sharing your knowledge, and also with different organizations that you belong to and help out inside of the community. You're one of the leaders out there, and we're grateful that you do serve in that role. So, looking forward to the next time we get a chat, and we'll see where technology is taking us in the meantime.
Sounds good. Thanks, Todd, and appreciate your efforts. You're involved in the community in so many ways, and that's awesome too. So
Coming up tomorrow, it is another restaurant review slash highlight with Bryce Taylor from GLI Insurance Group. And this time, we went and had lunch at La Carreta Rosa on South Main in Council Bluffs. I did a series on restaurants. It's been a few months ago on the show. And I asked AI, meaning ChatGPT, to do a deep dive and take a look at the best reviewed restaurants in town. And La Carreta Rosa topped the list. It was kind of surprising to me. And they're under new ownership now. I understand that the older gentleman that had owned it has moved to Washington, D.C., and it still didn't disappoint. The menu's the same. The food is just as good. And we're going to bring you that conversation coming up tomorrow here on the show. So thanks, Bryce Taylor with GLI Insurance Group, a locally and family-owned independent insurance group that's been helping people find the best possible plan for them for over a decade. So look for that show tomorrow right here on Morning Coffee. Just Sue Creative, helping you build your business with website design, search engine optimization, content creation, marketing, everything you need to take your company to the next level. Sue Pitts heading up the charge, and she has a passion for small businesses, helping them thrive in a digital world. Here's what you have to do. She has a button on her website that you can schedule a free consultation so she can learn a little bit more about you and see what she can put together for you. Just go to her website, justsuecreative.com, and you're going to see that button. It says free consultation right on it. You click on that, pick out a time that works for you, and then you're off and running. Again, justsuecreative.com. And don't forget to mark your calendars, Council Bluffs. The Bizarre Bazaar is returning to the Mile Away on Saturday, September 13th, hours 11 to 5. More than 75 vendor spots are available. They've been signing them up left and right. There's going to be an eclectic mix of handcraft goods, vintage treasures, artistic creations, psychic readings, holistic services, and a whole lot more. There is still some more room for vendors, and they have slots available indoors or outdoors. And I'm going to give you Lori's number to text to her if you would like to be a part of it. 402-318-7735. 402-318-7735. And Lori can help you get signed up. Don't miss this one-of-a-kind community marketplace, only at the Mile Away up on Old Lincoln Highway, north of Council Bluffs. Thanks again, Dave Zimmerman from Availa Bank, for being our guest today. And tomorrow, Bryce Taylor joins us again from GLI Insurance Group with another restaurant review, this time from La Carreta Rosa in Council Bluffs. My name's Todd Studer. Have a great Monday.